Hello, my name is Prime, and welcome back to ETS2 Showcases, and today I'll be completing my first look of the Forest Machinery DLC for ETS2, and I'll be honest, I did not expect to be doing another first look video this soon for ETS2, but here we are. Happy Nordic Horizons DLC released for everyone, and of course, what better way to celebrate the launch of a brand new map edition than with a new cargo DLC as well, so that's what we're doing today. So in today's delivery, we are going to be driving from here in Rovaniemi, Finland, up to Ivalo, or just below it, hauling this wood chipper, one of 8 brand new cargoes within the Forest Machinery DLC, up to what I believe is a timber site or logging site. So without further ado, let's get our Scania R770 started up and get on the road. In today's video, I am not using any third-party modification. Everything you hear and see is official Euro Truck Simulator 2 content in entirety. All right, let's get rolling. Hopefully everyone is doing fantastic. I am, because we are here once again in Euro Truck Simulator 2. Hopefully people are getting tired of this game. I certainly am not, because we have so much new content, which is fantastic, including a brand new cargo DLC, which is incredible in its own. And I do believe actually our low boy trailer here today, yeah, it does have steerable axles on it, so I got to keep that in mind. The Castleboro low boy trailer, or low deck trailer, however you want to call it, with this wood chipper. So it is one of 8, as I mentioned briefly, brand new cargoes for ETS2 as part of the Forest Machinery DLC. And so specifically with that DLC, if you own the American Truck Simulator version of this DLC, which has been out for quite some time now actually, you can get that as part of a bundle. So, and even if you don't own, obviously, the ATS version of the DLC, you can still get these DLCs in a bundle, so you get 50% off, essentially buy one get one free if you're starting fresh. But as part of the bundle as well, if you already own the American Truck Simulator version, you can still get 50% off the ETS2 version, and that's exactly what happened with me. So I obviously have the American Truck Simulator, we've got to go left here, the American Truck Simulator version of this DLC, and matter of fact, it only cost me about $3. It would be about $6 at least for me to get this DLC otherwise. Oh, and I hit the post because of this trailer. Lovely. I gotta get used to that. That's gonna be fun. Probably should get some beacons on here. That's the wrong button. There we go. There's the beacon. Probably should give people ample warning that I've got something of decent mass that we're moving along here. Anyways, one of 8 brand new cargoes, which is fantastic, and you can get this DLC fairly cheap as well. And of course, 2 DLC releases on the same day is absolutely fantastic. Happy release of Nordic Horizons, and of course, I am now recording this video on the official release of the Nordic Horizons DLC and the corresponding update that came along with it for 1.57. So from here on out, we're going to see how some of the potential performance issues play out and see if there's any improvements or if things start to stabilize a little bit more there. But 2 brand new DLCs launched on the same day, and it seems like the community is absolutely loving the Nordic Horizons DLC, which I came to expect given the early access that I was very fortunate to be able to do. And we're actually going to go buy this post here before turning, because the rear of the trailer would have other slots, I assume. There we go. That worked out well. It's being received very, very well, and I'm not surprised by that based off of the early access. It is a beautiful DLC. I mean, look at this detail all around us here. It is incredible to see. So what's included within this Forest Equipment DLC, or Forestry Machinery DLC, however you want to call it? I'm going to probably call it a few different names, so bear with me. This DLC, as I mentioned, has 8 brand new cargoes and a few accessories for your trucks. The cargoes are as follows. You can get a mobile traction winch. You can get a wood chipper like we're hauling today. There's a car there. Pay attention, Prime, to the road, not the list you may or may not be reading out with all the different cargoes. The wood chipper, as we're hauling today, you can also get a forestry specific crawler excavator. There's a skidder, there's a mulcher, there's a log stacker, a log harvester, and a forwarder. And then in terms of some of the accessories, well, you can actually see a couple on this truck today. There are technically mirror covers. I didn't put that on. There's a wiper guard, which is that big chrome accent along the bottom of the windshield. And then there's also light covers as well, or headlight shields that you can put on your truck. Really cool, just little additions on that, but the cargo is the biggest bit. Again, 8 brand new cargos. For me, it costs about $3 to be able to get this DLC when I bought the bundle. Obviously, I didn't buy the ATS version again because it was already in my Steam library. So thank you, SCA Software and Steam, for the logic on the bundles and how that all works. Appreciate it. And yeah, it was pretty much a steal of a deal to pick that up, at least in my view. And in terms of Nordic Horizons, the official cost of the DLC is obviously out, and many of you have already gone and picked it up. But for those who have not, it is roughly $20 depending on your particular currency. For me, it was just over $20, and for some it may be under. I believe it's formally listed at about 17 or 18 euro. So depending on conversion and different agreements, you're somewhere in that range. I'd say that's still a pretty good deal for the DLC in terms of even just basic price, without potentially any reductions. And sorry, sidetracked. When I found this delivery because I wanted to do this, and I actually realized it would cross something else off my bucket list. Welcome to Santa Claus Village, the Arctic Circle of Santa Claus Village, everyone. Here, just outside, here in Finland, where we're at. A beautiful little town, or a little spot here. Kind of neat, and I am assuming very soon the coach buses here will become a very frequent stop with project coaches. But it's just a nice little scenic spot here. It's not too much happening by the looks of it, and I don't know which way I should have gone around here, but we're just going to send it this way. Hope that I can navigate around here without taking out cars at the end. But it is just a lovely little spot for us ETS2 players to kind of enjoy. And I'm assuming project coaches, this is going to become a lot more, well, prevalent of a spot to travel to. Obviously, you can't haul anything to here as far as I know. I don't believe there's a cargo spot for this, but potentially there could be things with community events here, or at very least project coaches, I would assume, would have some form of integration here with the Santa Claus Village. Just a nice little detail here along the map if you happen to be driving past here. Roviemi is how I'm going to say it and how I tried to look it up. I do apologize if it is completely wrong. Again, comment down below. Thanking everyone who has been giving me tips to date. You have done wonders to try and help me out, and I'm just going to go here because I've made a rightful mess of this whole situation, and hopefully not take out the Tesla because they keep parking there. Whatever, took the curb a little bit, but had to do what I had to do. I appreciate everyone who's been trying to help me out with the pronunciation. I know it's pretty much a never-ending story, and it will be here in the Nordic Horizons DLC, but I do appreciate everyone who is trying to help. And my word, the frames. You want to come back to me, game? Hello? It's not even saving at all. It's just... performance just left the window. Is it going to come back? Be great. Oh, I think it's back kind of ish now. Yeah, it's pretty much back now. Ha. Yeah, I really don't know what's going on, my friends. I've been trying to do some different changes, and nothing I can seemingly do has helped. And it is quite confusing because now it's pretty much back to normal. It's not doing too bad. So I'm a little bit lost. Oh, I think there's some deer. Oh, deer. Deer in the woods. I think that was deer. Don't think that was moose or anything like that. Anyways, performance is, yeah, hit and miss. I'm still trying to figure that one out. I thought it was SSAO. It did help a bit, I think, but honestly now I'm realizing it's not quite doing the trick. Tried to play around with the shadow settings a little bit. Still didn't really make too much of a difference. A little bit of that I lost honestly, on what to kind of say with that. Don't really know exactly what the culprit truly is and why it's only affecting some individuals, not everyone. I'll have to maybe just completely change, try and do a whole other, basically, graphic setting, and see if I can fine-tune it again. I'm wondering if the HDR support has changed enough back end with the lighting in particular and how the shadowing works and so on, that it's just thrown everything out of kilter. And now, obviously, my system is struggling to run it. I'm wondering if that's more the case. Regardless, I appreciate everyone who's been supporting the series, even with some of the weird things graphically, and the various videos coming out recently. Obviously, been doing a lot of content, and that is not going to slow down, because as soon as Louisiana DLC releases, I'm going to be over there in American Truck Simulator doing a lot of similar, well, even delivery videos to some degree, but obviously specific for ATS over there. So obviously for first looks, various special transports, which the special transport route for here in ETS2 is coming up very soon. So keep an eye out for that. Lots of other content here on Nordic Horizons planned as well. So I appreciate everyone supporting these various videos, setting records in this time here for the channel, which is incredible to see. You all are an amazing community, and I appreciate every single member of it, new or long-standing. Thank you very much. So where was I before the Santa Claus Village? Because I completely got lost. Oh, I was talking about the price of Nordic Horizons. Yeah, about 20 bucks. And it is a beautiful DLC. And in fact, I believe it is actually one of the top-selling now simulation kind of add-ons or kind of in-with games. Like ETS2 and Nordic Horizons is among the top sellers list on Steam right now. I do believe I saw that, which is pretty crazy, especially still ETS2 being, and it's been long-standing, one of the top sellers on Steam for a game that came out in 2012. Kind of impressive. And, you know, when it comes to Nordic Horizons, the fact that it literally just launched and it is now kind of among the top of the list there, that says something about the community. And it also says something about SES Software and their map teams and their whole team overall, to be honest, and the commitment they've made to making these DLCs what they are. It is beautiful. I mean, you can tell by just driving across here, where we're at in Finland. It is a beautiful, beautiful DLC through and through, and I know many of you are thoroughly enjoying your time in Nordic Horizons, and I hope it continues for you, because it certainly will for me, I can tell you that much, and we've got a lot of content to explore. And also, comment down below how your cruising Nordic Horizons event is going for you, if you are partaking in that. For those who have purchased the DLC and have a World of Trucks account, which you can do, of course, you can sign up for free. That is a wonderful event and forces you in many ways to travel all across the Nordic Horizons DLC to discover various landmarks, you know, different industries and towns and so on. There's a lot to explore, as I've mentioned already, and it's great to see that everyone is enjoying their time in Nordic Horizons. I've already seen some comments pop up on the early access videos since the release of the DLC. And of course, I'm sure that trend will continue. Nordic Horizons is truly beautiful, and it's, again, really exciting for the future of ETS2 to say, well, what is coming next? And we have a brand new cargo DLC just drop with this, with Nordic Horizons pretty much out of nowhere. I mean, personally, I didn't know that was going to happen. Maybe some of you eagle-eyed people in various teaser screenshots or whatever may have noticed new cargoes, and I, for whatever reason, just completely looked over that, or maybe I'd heard about it in the past if it had been confirmed, and I just, for whatever reason, forgot, which is technically a possibility with me. Prime Simulation, you know, me being Prime is kind of a staple of forgetting things or making slight mistakes here and there, but I am human after all. That's the way it goes. But especially with everything going on with the various releases on ETS2, ATS, and other games and stuff that I'm planning, trying to keep things straight in my brain is sometimes a bit of a challenge. But I do my best, and once again, I appreciate everyone sticking by me, especially on something like this where I can get sidetracked and go off on different tangents and topics and so on. And sometimes it's hard to track along with sometimes, but I do appreciate everyone who can try and filter it through and stick by it. But as I said, the future of ETS2 is bright, especially if we get a brand new cargo DLC launch with a map expansion, and we now have brand new cargo and a whole new map to explore, among other great features. That is extremely exciting, and a trend that I hope continues. I'm sure it will, and it's also just a question what other cargo types could be added to ETS2. Now, the thing that has been talked about for quite some time is rigid trucks. Rigid trucks are apparently coming to ETS2 at some point. What's going to happen there with rigid trucks? Are we going to get some different cargoes or different logistic styles of deliveries going on? You know, in the type of rigid truck. As far as I know, I've seen mainly more standard box trailer rigid trucks. I'd hope there would be a flatbed version as well, or flat deck version. I hope that would be the case. But are we going to get also a fuel or some form of like rigid, basically tanker or liquid hauler? That would be really neat. And again, those are opportunities that completely blow open the logistics network as well, particularly in city or urban areas, but even rural areas as well. Delivering, for example, fuel to a farm in a more rigid truck than a full transport truck, or full 18-wheeler, I should say, is definitely a serious option. And an option that is both a little bit more realistic, obviously depending on the scale of operations, and, well, cool. It's just simply cool and interesting at the same time. So yeah, it's really going to be interesting to see where things go here in ETS2 moving forward. And again, can't wait, well, to see what happens. I'm starting to wonder if it's just the vegetation detail of Nordic Horizons, and because I've been driving primarily in higher or newer areas, some of the changes with 1.57 really just exaggerated, you know, shadowing with high vegetation detail, and it's causing performance issues. I honestly do not know, and I'm going to have to try and get to the bottom of it. I will do my best. I will do my best. Nice little timber processing site here. Looks like there's some dynamic loading up there as well. And I believe, oh, that's not one of the new cargoes. I don't think. But yeah, really, really neat. Love these custom depots. They look fantastic. So we should probably try and reverse here into this delivery point, which with this steerable axle in theory should be half decent to do, but it's also a steerable axle. I gotta try and actually do this as well, which could turn out to be a challenge. Why is everything just vibrating so rigid? Is it just the frame rates or what? I have no idea. Hopefully everyone can see that. Things were just shaking for some reason. Now, am I going to be able to actually get this in here? I don't know. I'm just going to kind of, I guess, snake it back and forth, because that is a little bit of the annoying thing with the steerable axles, is that it's hard to track the swing. It really gets used. You have to really get used to how the trailer moves in the pivot point, because it shallows everything out. So I can't do last minute corrections like that, because the tires may not be pointed in the correct direction on the trailer. You know what? It's not centered, and I kind of did that exterior view, but we are here, and that is all that matters. Parked it right by the fuel, right by the fuel tank. Speaking about a fuel tank on a job site, or a farm, we're right by the fuel tank, so they can get it fueled up and drive it off of this truck so we can take our trailer and get on the road. Thank you all so much for watching. What a great episode here in Nordic Horizons once again, and our first look at the Forest Machinery DLC by Technicality, hauling one of the new wood chipper cargo types. It's always great to see a brand new cargo DLC come into a game, and especially come into a game when a massive new map expansion releases as well. Brand new cargo to haul, brand new routes to take, and brand new places to explore is a triple combo that we can always enjoy. Comment down below what you think about the Nordic Horizons DLC thus far, and what do you think the future looks like for ETS2, because I think it looks very bright. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.